Hi everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm bringing to you a reading vlog. Hi guys, it is about 10 to 5 p.m. on Wednesday the 24th of April. Welcome to a new reading vlog. Let's start off with a cat relationship update. So we've had face-to-face interaction today for the first time and it went amazingly well. They are still both out like where they can see and touch each other. I apologize if they start to get really noisy because they are chasing each other around, which at first I was like, oh no, but it's all pretty happy, and they're reversing roles, which is apparently very good. Sometimes he's chasing her, sometimes she's chasing him, so they're basically just playing. There's been nose touching, there's been no hissing, no growling. It's all been super positive. It could not have gone better. I'm so pleased. So I think I have boxing later tonight. I think when I go to boxing, I'll probably put him back in the room. I don't think I feel confident leaving them alone together when I'm not home, just in case. But it's going really well. So today, I've been out most of the day. So Winnie had a vet appointment this morning, just her annual checkup and vaccination. Although she's perfectly healthy, he was really happy with her, except, which is apparently pretty common, she's probably got this autoimmune disease which causes gingivitis in her gums, which is apparently very common, but it likely means having to go on a course of steroids, and then if the steroids don't work, possibly having to have all her teeth out except her canines, which again is apparently very common. But I'm glad that it's common and that he wasn't like overly worried about it, but it probably means a lot of expense, so that's not great. So I'm just basically supposed to keep an eye on it for a couple of weeks, check her gums like every week or so for the next few weeks and see whether they look like they're getting any better. So we'll see. Hopefully maybe they'll get a bit better. I do feed her like dental treats, so maybe they'll get a bit better. I don't know. Anyway, and then so took her to the vet, and then I basically went straight from there to pick my dad up. I brought her home and went straight from there to pick my dad up to go see Avengers Endgame, and I was there most of the day because the movie, so we left at 10, the movie was at 11, and the movie is 3 hours and 1 minute long, and it plus trailers, so it was an investment. So the movie was at 11. I didn't get home till like almost 3. So that was most of my day. Totally worth it. I'm not going to spoil anything because I know by the time I'm seeing it on release day. So I know by the time this vlog goes up, it will have only been out for like a couple of weeks. And there'd be a lot of people who still want to see it who haven't managed to see it in cinemas yet. So I wouldn't spoil anything anyway, but I loved it. I really loved it. It's possibly my new top ranked Avengers movie of all time, like Marvel movie of all time. So I have to kind of mull on it because sometimes quite often when you come out of a movie, you feel very like gung-ho about how much I enjoyed it, and I like to sit on my feelings for it for a little while. But I want to say that the movie was far more feminist than I ever could have dreamed that it would end up being, and I was so fucking into it. I love seeing movies like this as well in a cinema. Like the cinema was packed, and I love seeing it in a cinema where everyone is so invested in the movie and the outcome, and the whole cinema is having the same reactions. The cinema was crying together, and there are a couple of like real badass moments, like different moments throughout where collectively the cinema was like, yeah, like fucking fist pumping. It was so good. It was such a good movie experience, and like I just had a great time, and I really, really enjoyed it. Anyway, so I went to that, and then I've been home for probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And like I said, I've just been being a cat relationship manager. So yeah, I've got nothing on. I've got boxing, like I said, and then when I come home, I'll probably watch a movie tonight. So last night, I ended up going to bed really late last night because I finished watching a movie that I was watching, and then I needed to edit the video that I filmed yesterday that I wanted to go live this morning, and I knew I wasn't going to have time to do it like today with taking Winnie to the vet and seeing Avengers and all of that. So I did that last night. It took longer than I hoped it would. And then after all of my efforts to edit it, finally it exported. then I went set to upload it. I waited for the whole thing to upload, filled out all of the information, all of that. And then luckily I checked the video on YouTube before I just left it for the night, because it turns out that I had uploaded the wrong file, and I uploaded the complete raw unedited file, not the edited video. And the only reason I really realized was because as I went to click on it, I saw that the file was like the video was 29 minutes, and I was like, 29 minutes? I don't remember it being that long once I edited it, and it wasn't. It was like 21 minutes once it was edited. So I had to completely delete the video and re-upload it from scratch. So I went to bed really late, and then so I'm a little bit tired today. And then I have to have an early night tonight, because tomorrow we are going to the dawn service for Anzac Day. So my dad is picking me up at 4:15 in the morning. So I have to be up real early. So, yeah, I have to be up so early. I won't feed the cats till I come back, but I'm already not. I like going to the dawn service. I like being a part of that, but getting up at 4 is not my favorite thing in the world. So yeah, that's plans for tomorrow. So reading update. So yesterday, in the last clip of the last vlog, I was reading Ferris by Chanda Han. I'm still reading this. I made really good progress on this last night. I read just under 200 pages in the end. I've only read like 2 chapters today. So I'm on page 222. I've only got a chapter left. So I'm basically hoping to finish this before I go to boxing. And then can move on to something else like later this evening / tonight before I go to bed. Because I really need to push with my reading if I want to get to everything that I need to get to complete all of the challenges. And so, yeah, I need to keep on top of my reading. Tomorrow, once we get home from the dawn service, I don't really have anything going on. My parents leave tomorrow to go away for a couple of nights, so I don't have any plans at all tomorrow, apart from, like, once I get home from dawn service, it'll be another chill day just at home, watching a few movies and things like that. I do have to feed my sister's dog for the next couple of nights, and mornings and things. I have to figure out, I'll talk to my mum about it tonight when we go to boxing and figure out exactly what the feeding schedule and everything's going to be. But that's it. So, trying to think if there's anything else that I need to report. There isn't. That's really it. I will let you know my final thoughts on this tomorrow, in case you didn't watch the last vlog. I'm really hating it. I'm only pushing through to finish it because, one, it's really short. It's only 230 pages, and it meets one of the challenges for the Owls Readathon, so I really wanted to complete it. So I'll keep pushing to finish that, and then I will pick something else up, and I'll let you know what that is tomorrow. So that is it for this clip. I will talk to you guys at some point during the day, during my chill day tomorrow. I'll probably be exhausted. My chill day may turn into nap day. Who knows? We'll see. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, it is shortly before 5 p.m. on Thursday the 25th of April. It's Anzac Day here in Australia. So I obviously had today off because I've got this week off, but it is a holiday in Australia today. It's Anzac Day, which is Australian New Zealand Army Corps Day. It's a day of remembering soldiers who have given their lives for our countries, etc. So we went to the dawn service this morning. We go every year. It's a service put on at dawn, a remembrance service. We go every year. So I had to be up at 3:50 this morning. We go quite early. The actual service doesn't start. The idea of the service is that it's going on as dawn is happening, as the sun is rising. So I think the actual service starts at like 5:45, somewhere around there, but you kind of have to be there by like around 5-ish to like get a decent spot, if you want to be able to like actually see the service, because it does go quite deep, like in people, like there's people all the way out on the road, like just listening like over the speakers to the service. And we also get there even earlier than that because my nan is elderly, she's not very mobile, so we get there quite early so that she can get a spot where she can sit on her walker, like in the front. So my dad picked me up at 4:15 this morning, so I had to be up at 3:50 this morning. We then went straight, we always go for breakfast afterwards, and then when I came home, I actually was not feeling the greatest. I don't know if it was a combination of getting up really early So not getting that much sleep and then having a really big breakfast. I don't know, I felt really awful. I feel fine now, but for the like all morning until like mid-afternoon, I felt quite sick. Anyway, so I've had a pretty chill day. Like I spent most of the day in bed trying to sleep, but not really being able to sleep because I really wasn't feeling well. I then attempted to go to the pharmacy because my mum assured me it would be open today, even though I said to her, she's like, it's always open on public holidays. And I was like, Anzac Day though, because it's like quite a special holiday here in Australia. And I went all the way there. By all the way, I mean it's literally around the corner, but it was closed. And then I came home and I watched a movie. And if you guys are interested in an update on how life in the 2-cat household is going, I'm going to insert a little clip right here for you guys. It's going really well. It's gone real well. We've had no incidents. They love each other so much. I put him back in his room when I went to boxing last night. And then because I wasn't sure about leaving them alone together, but then I let him back out as soon as I got home and it was fine. And I left him out like when I went to bed. I didn't put him back in the room, so they were like in the house together all night. Winnie spent most of the night sleeping on my bed like she always does. There was a bit of playing and stuff, and then he went and slept where he has been sleeping, which is behind the sofa, and they were totally fine. And so when I went to the dawn service this morning, I was like, I'm not even going to bother putting him in his room, and I'm going to see how they go for a couple of hours on their own. And they were totally fine. And as you can see from that clip that I filmed a little bit earlier, it's going really well. So I'm so pleased. I could not be more pleased. I'm so happy to be in a position where when I go back to work on Monday, I don't have to like put him into the small room that he can like roam the house with Winnie, and they can sit in windows and lay in the sun in the back room and all of those things. So yeah, it's going really well. Why do I keep doing this? I'm not sure. So that is kind of life update. I wanted to film this clip now because I'm just about to go around to my sister's place because my parents are away. They left today to go away for a couple of nights as a belated anniversary celebration. It was their, did I mention it in the vlog? I don't know. It was their wedding anniversary on the 18th. 32 years this year. So they've gone away for a couple of nights, and they were looking after my sister's dog because my sister's family is away, but now they're away. So my parents' dog is at my nan's, but I have to go to my sister's place and feed my sister's dog. So I'm going around there, and then when I get back, I'll feed my cats because they're both staring at me right here in front of me on the bed. They're both staring at me. So yeah, that is kind of life update. I watched a movie this afternoon once I felt a bit better. I've got nothing going on tonight except movies. Tomorrow I have quite a few things going on in like the first half of the day. I've got a boxing class at 9:15. I'm going to by myself. I decided to take the opportunity while I was off work they have day classes all the time, but obviously I can't go to day classes because I work. And so I took this opportunity. It was harder to get into day classes than it normally would be because this was a week with quite a few holidays, because I think they do day classes on Mondays definitely. I think normally Thursdays. So Monday was a public holiday. Today was a public holiday, and so I'm going to the one tomorrow. Anyway, I'm going basically, and I don't know if this is really gross, but I need to fit it all in. I'm going straight from there to put in the scripts that I tried to get filled today because I'd forgotten about them. And then I'm going to get my nails done while the scripts are being filled, because I'll get to that in a second. And then hopefully my nails will be done in time for me to make it to my doctor's appointment. I have a doctor's appointment at 11:30 that I need the script to be filled. I'm having I think I mentioned in an earlier vlog, I'm having the implant put in, and I need to like get the script. You have to like get the script. You get the script for the implant. You have to fill the script and then take the implant, and then you make an appointment and they like put the implant in. So I've got that. So that's why I have to get the script filled before the appointment. But then after all of that, I'm done. And so normally I would get my nails done on Saturday, but my parents are still away. They're not coming back till like late morning on Saturday. And so I'm taking my nan. Like my nan normally joins me and my parents for coffee every Saturday. And so I'm picking her up, and we're just going to go just the two of us. And so normally when I get my nails done, I drive myself and then just go home separately. But obviously I'm going to be my nan doesn't drive or anything. So I'm going to be picking my nan up, and I'm not going to ask her to sit around for like an hour while I get my nails done. So I took the opportunity of being off work and I was like, oh, I'll go during the day on Friday, which probably it'll be less busy anyway. So that's why I'm getting them done tomorrow. So yeah, so I've got all that going on in the morning, and then I've got a relaxed afternoon and night, evening, like with nothing on. And then Saturday I've got coffee and that, and then my mom is coming around when she gets back from being away, and we're going to, I just got a low battery warning, and we're going to clean my house. I'm going to try to get a few things done over the next few days, but she's going to help me get to some of the cleaning stuff that I haven't gotten to. Like, she's actually going to help me, like, we're going to move some of the furniture, like, you know, move my bed as far to the side as we can to, like, you know, vacuum. I've lived here for about 2.5 years now, so to get to those areas that you really just don't get to very often, so to, like, do, like, a real deep clean, that's the plan, and do some organizing. And I know my mom's just going to get in here and just want to, like, get shit done, so that is the plan for Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm going to see Avengers again. Because my mum, I think I mentioned as well in the previous vlog, my mum was supposed to come with my dad and I to see it. Like, we booked for all three of us, and then it turned out that my uncle had an appointment related to his cancer treatments, and my mum went with him to that, so she missed the movie, and she obviously really wants to see it. And so I agreed to go again. Such a hardship to go with her on Sunday, so I booked tickets for us on Sunday morning, which will take up another chunk of my day on Sunday because it's 3 hours long. I think the movie is at 10. It's at 10 a.m. So that'll be most of my day. We'll probably get lunch after, and then Sunday afternoon, and then Monday I'm back to work. Boo. So yeah, oh my God, this clip's already 8 minutes. I haven't even got to the reading, and I've got a bit of reading to talk to you guys about. So first off, Fairest by Chanda Han. I finished this last night. I think I only had like 2 chapters or a chapter left when I spoke to you guys. I gave this 2 stars. I really didn't enjoy it. I thought the writing in this was not great. I also thought it was really lazy, like lazy writing where, you know, stuff just all kind of comes together in a way where you're just like, really? So I don't know what possessed me. I didn't enjoy the first book that much, but there was something at the end of that made me go, oh, I kind of want to know what's going to happen. And so the first book I had bought for free on my Kindle, and so I saw that my library had the books, and so I requested it, and yeah, really didn't enjoy it, but it does fulfill the Owl's challenge for reading a retelling. So that's checked off. I then picked up last night Paper Girls Volume 3. So I picked this up hoping that it would fulfill the Owl's challenge for divination to read a book set in the future, which I think is the only Owl now that I haven't completed, because the Paper Girls series involves time travel. Unfortunately, and I wasn't sure when this one was set, unfortunately this one is set in like caveman era. So did not work for that challenge. While there are different characters kind of popping in and out from different time travel in the future, I feel like it would be cheating to include this. Like, it really didn't involve. I think from what I can tell that the 4th one maybe is going to be set in the future, maybe. And so I put a request on that, but I don't think that's going to come in time at my library for me to pick it up and read it before the end of the month. So I think that maybe divination is going to be the only Owl that I don't get to, unless by some miracle I get through everything else on my TBR and can fit in a whole nother book at the end of the month and can find something on my TBR shelf that fits, that isn't a book in a series. Then someone's real anxious for a dinner. I know, honey, it's not dinner time yet, and you're not getting it until after I go around and feed Maverick. So yeah, I finished that. I should give you my actual thoughts on it, not just tell you about how it meets challenges. I actually enjoyed, so this is a series that I had been unsure about. I think I gave the first one 2.75 and then gave the second one 3 and was kind of like, this is kind of its last chance to really hook me, or I'm going to DNF the series. This has been my favorite of the series so far. I gave this 3.5 stars. I don't know what it was about this one, but I just felt more connected to it, I guess. Like, to be fair, there's the 4 female teenage characters, and I couldn't have even told you which one was which up until this point. Like, that's how unconnected I felt to it, whereas I feel a lot more connected to it now. I'm starting to enjoy the story a little bit more. And so, yeah, I'm just a little bit more invested. So I gave this 3.5 stars. So I read that last night, finished that before I went to bed. And then I've picked up Spellbound by Kate Tiernan, which is the final book in this bind-up, so book 6 in the series. I think it's like 190 something pages. I'm currently on page 60. I would love to get a big chunk of the way through this tonight. I might actually, depending on how I go with movies and how the timing finishes up with movies, I may try to do my read for an hour challenge that I need to do for BookBuddyAthon. I may try to do that tonight. Maybe. We'll see. It was so funny because I was talking to Michelle about it and we were talking about which challenges we had left for BookBuddyAthon. And I said I still had that one to go. And she was like, "This, like, what? You haven't read for an hour this month?" And I was like, I don't. That's just not how I read anymore. Like, I used to read that way. And I do occasionally sit down and just, like, read, like, a chunk. But it's pretty rare for me these days. For the most part, I read in tiny little bursts. I'll read for, you know, like 30 minutes on my commute or 30 minutes at lunch and then 30 minutes on my commute home. And when I'm at home, I've said before, I typically do watch a couple of booktube videos, read a chapter or two, watch a couple of booktube videos, read a chapter or two, watch a movie, read a chapter. I rarely like sit and read for extended periods anymore. I read before I go to bed, but I don't read for an hour. I would generally probably read for 20 or 30 minutes before I go to bed. So I just don't read in that way anymore. So I haven't done it. It is something I'm going to have to like consciously decide to do. I'll either, like I said, I might do it tonight, or I will probably do it tomorrow if I don't do it tonight, because tomorrow is probably going to be my best bet of having time where I can really dedicate to that, where I don't feel like it's eating into anything else. So yeah, that is it, I think, for this clip. I'm gonna go now because the cats are getting anxious. Well, Winnie is prowling around because she's been here longer. She knows the household routines a little bit more and knows that it's almost feeding time. Giles is just laying. He's pretty chill. But as soon as he hears me going for the food packets, then he'll be all over me, like white on rice. So yeah, I'm going to go. I will talk to you guys at some point during the day tomorrow. Hopefully by then, maybe even possibly will have finished this, but I at the very least should have made very good progress on this when I speak to you guys. And then hopefully can let you know what my next read is, because my next read, I need to check my TBR. I haven't actually looked at it, but I think my next read is going to be a NetGalley book, and I don't even know what one it is. I need to check what I need to read from NetGalley, but almost all of my NetGalley books are thrillers, so I'm pretty sure that is going to read for the Pretty Little Liars prompt for BookBuddyAthon, to read a book that's a thriller or has dark themes. I'm planning to use that one for that challenge. So anyway, I've got to go. I keep saying that, and this clip's like 14 minutes, which is ridiculous. So I'm going to go, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, it is 12:37 p.m. on Friday, the 26th of April. I have had a very productive day. So, got up this morning, got ready, well, as ready as I needed to, fed the cats, scooped kitty litters, went round to my sister's place, fed my sister's dog, went to boxing, took a boxing class, went from boxing straight to the shops, got my nails done. I've gone, oh, can we see them? Oh, kinda, you can see them. It's like this dark-ish grey colour. The colour was called Gucci Mittens, which, very unfortunate name. I wasn't into that name at all, but yeah. They're also, she's done them a lot more, and again, I don't know if you can see them, a lot more pointed than I think I've had them done previously. But that was incredibly stressful because I had a doctor's appointment at 11:30, and I thought that I would have plenty of time to get my nails done in between boxing and the doctor's appointment. And I should have, except that it was one of those circumstances where I went in and they were like, have a seat, and then I had a seat, and then I was left waiting for like 20 minutes. So that was a little bit frustrating, because then I was like starting to really panic, and I was late to the doctors, but the doctors are always running behind, because I put in the scripts before I went into the nail place. Then I had to race from the nail place, pick up the scripts, pay for the scripts, and then race to the doctors, which is just across the road, so it wasn't too bad. And I was like 6 minutes late or something, and I said, oh, I'm sorry I'm late, but I still waited for like 10 minutes before I was seen anyway. So had the implant put in. You can't see I've got a massive bandage on this arm, but it's quite chilly today, so I've put my hoodie on. For those of you who are concerned about getting the implant on, don't be. I had a friend who got the implant on, and we're talking like 8 or 9 years ago, and it was a horror show. I feel like they've improved a lot, you know, over the years, but her arm was like, it was horrible. Like, and I think she probably just had a one in a million, not 1 in a million probably, but like a rarer, like bad experience. I went. They give you a local anesthetic, so that's the part that really, the only part that hurts. Little needle, bit of stinging with the local anesthetic, had to wait a minute or two for that to kick in, and she was actually very impressed with me. Apparently I'm a very good responder to local anesthetic. She's like, oh, it won't be numb yet, but let's just check. And she's like, can you feel that? She was like scraping it with like a sharp needly thing, and I was like, I can't feel that at all. So they put it in, didn't hurt at all. So now I just have to see how it goes. So had that, and then I went through the car wash, finally cleaned my car. My car was so filthy, like embarrassingly filthy. And now I'm here at the library to pick up some holds that have come in. So I just feel like, you know, it's not even 1 o'clock and I've been so productive. So later when I get home, I need to edit the vlog from before this because that needs to go up tonight. So I'm going to edit that when I get home, and then the rest, once I've done that, the rest of the day is just for chilling. The only issue is I had boxing class and I had to go straight to my nails and all of that. So I haven't showered since boxing, and now I can't shower because I've got a dressing on. The dressing is waterproof. I have to leave that on for 3 to 4 days. That's fine, but there's a bandage over the top at the moment that I'm supposed to leave on for at least 24 hours, which isn't waterproof. So I was like, I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going home. So I guess it's not a big deal, but I was like, ew, I feel kind of gross. So it's fine. I've got like face wipes that I would normally use on my face, but I'll just, you know, English shower type of thing. And then, yeah, so that's kind of what's going on in my life. I wanted to get all of my like errands and things done today so that I had less to do tomorrow, so that when I pick my nan up and take my nan for coffee after I've dropped her back home after that, like when we get coffee, we'll do a bit of groceries, drop her home, and then I can get started on the cleaning and tidying like before my mum comes around. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to swap hands. This is the first clip I have filmed in the car since, oh, you can see my finger. Fixed it. Clip I have filmed in the car since swapping to filming on the iPhone. It is actually the one place where it's a lot more uncomfortable to hold than the camera, because where I would normally have held the camera, which is like here, it's too close. It's close. I have to like weirdly, oh, you can see my finger again, weirdly stretch out my hand, and it's just a little bit uncomfortable, but it's fine. So yeah, that's what's going on in my life. Reading update. I didn't bring it with me because I'm not a professional, but I did finish Spellbound by Kate Tiernan, the 6th book in the Sweep series. I finished that last night, so I ended up reading that whole thing yesterday. Not that impressive. It's 190 pages. So I'm done with that. Very happy to be done with that because there's still quite a few. I think there's like 4 books that I still would like to fit in by the end of the month. And so we're what? It's the 26th today. So after today, we've only got 4 days. 27th, 28th, 29th, 27th, 28th, 29th. Yeah, like 4 days. Yeah, that's math, Karen. 4 days left in the month. So I was glad to at least like get that done quicker. Get that book done fairly quickly. So finished that last night. It was, oh my God, this is so unprofessional. I keep putting my freaking thumb in view. I'm so sorry. I enjoyed this one a little bit more than the previous one. The previous one was a bit of like a lull in the series for me. It was just a little bit slower. This one was much more enjoyable in my opinion. There was a lot more action going on in this one. At first I thought we were headed towards a love triangle, and I was like, oh no, but it's not really. Like, decisions were made, very clear decisions were made pretty promptly, which I appreciated, especially for a book written in the early 2000s, because love triangles, let's be real, were all the rage in like early YA. So kind of impressed with that. So I gave that 3.5 stars. Next I need to pick up a NetGalley read, which I'm not sure what one it is yet. I haven't picked it up yet. I'm going to check when I get home. I tried to have a look last night on my phone before I went to bed, but like sign into NetGalley, because I generally read my NetGalley books. I feel like my hand is so shaky because my arm is getting really tired. Oh, thumb, friggin' heck. I tried to have a look on my phone, like log into, oh my God, I'm repeating myself. I read my NetGalley books. I generally sort them by publication date and read the older ones first because I'm never on time. Like I think the next one I have to read is, I think like November last year, like release. So I'm like 6 months behind. And so, but when you log onto it on your phone, I can see all the books and stuff, but I can't sort it by date the way I can on the website. So I wasn't sure which one I needed to pick up. So, I will do that when I get home, and then I'll start that this afternoon, get as much reading on that done today as I can, because like I said, I've still got a few books to cram in by the end of the month. Whew, I feel like I'm out of breath because I'm talking really quick. I'm sorry if I'm talking really fast in this clip. So yeah, that is kind of it. I will check in with you guys tomorrow at some point. I don't know how much, I want to get as much read today as possible, because I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done tomorrow, because most of my day when I get home from taking my nan to the shops is going to be taken up by cleaning and tidying and all of that. So I want to get as much reading done today as possible. So yeah, that is really it, I think, for this clip, and I will talk to you guys at some point during the day tomorrow. Bye guys. Hi guys, it is almost 5:30 p.m. on Saturday the 27th of April. I am exhausted. So last night what did I do last night? I can't even remember. I'm too tired to even think. But I didn't do a whole lot of reading until I went to bed. And then when I went to bed, I tried to do the challenge for BookBuddyAthon to read for 1 hour straight. I failed. And I don't know why, because it was only about, so it was 10:42 when I started trying to do the reading, and within like 10 minutes, so like 10:42, it's not super late, within like 10 minutes, I was starting to get really conscious of how tired I was, and so I kept pushing through, and was constantly thinking in the back of my mind, I'm really tired, and then after about 34 minutes, well, would have been earlier than 34 minutes, I actually fell asleep, like just for a second, like not for a second, but like I fell asleep for like a minute or two, and then came to like I was reading on my Kindle, and my Kindle was like open, and I was like, oh, I actually fell asleep. And so I checked then, and it had been 34 minutes, so I ended up just turning out my light and going to sleep. So that was last night. Then today, I took my nan for coffee and everything, came home and started the tidying and cleaning process of my house. My mum came round at about 12, joined me and helped me. She left about 10 minutes ago, so she was here for like a solid 5 hours, and I was doing stuff for a couple of hours before that. And so we got most of it done. There are still a few things that I want to do, but all the massive, like major stuff we got done today. So my house is looking nice and clean. That's why I look like a total pile of trash. So I think I was already really sore from the 3 boxing sessions this week. And then and also my arm, where I had the implant on put in yesterday, is really sore. And then my lower back and everything, and I'm so sore right now. I can't imagine how sore I'm going to be tomorrow. So yeah, we've just finished cleaning. So I did before my mum got here, I did my style of cleaning where I clean for put on BookTube, watch about 3 BookTube videos, and then take a break and read a chapter, etc. So I did that for the couple of hours that I was doing stuff before my mum got here. So combined with the reading last night and then that reading this morning, I'm currently 37% of the way through my book. So I started Too Close by Natalie Daniels. This is a thriller that I have from NetGalley. It basically says that it's about 2 women who are friends, best friends. They met on the playground as adults, like their children were playing on the playground. They forged this really strong friendship and bond, and then one of them is going through a divorce, and she starts to really lean on the other friend, like during that period. And then one of the friends wakes up one day and that starts to put a strain on the friendship, and then one of them one day wakes up in a psychiatric facility, and she is told that she has done something awful. Now, we don't know at the start what has happened, although where I'm at, I'm only 37% of the way through. We've already started to get an idea, we pretty much know what's happened. And so, yeah, she has no recollection of the events, so we're just trying to figure out, I guess, what has gone on. I'm enjoying it for the most part so far, although we get the point of view of the psychiatrist. It is a POV that we get, and I don't know how I feel about the psychiatrist-patient relationship, because I feel there's a lot of really, really unprofessional stuff going on. And I'm not sure how I feel about that in the grand scheme of things. So that's what reading I've done so far today. Now, it is the 27th, so after today we've only got 3 days left, and I still ideally would like to get through this and 3 other books. Well, sorry, 2 books and a graphic novel. I don't think that's going to be possible, but one of the books I'm pretty sure I can get through pretty quickly. I'm not sure about the other one. Sorry, I just realized the cats are in my wardrobe because I didn't close the door properly. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, because I don't imagine that I'm going to be able to stay up very late tonight, because I got up at a normal time at like 8 a.m. this morning. But after spending like 7 hours cleaning, I am exhausted. I also, my mum is picking me up at 9 o'clock tomorrow because we're going to see, I'm going again to see Avengers. She's seeing Avengers for the first time. So that will take up a big chunk of my day tomorrow. And then I'm back to work on Monday. And then it's only Monday and Tuesday, like, left for the month. So can I do it? I don't think so, but I'm really going to try. So that's really it, I think. I'm 37% of the way through that. Like I said, my plan for tonight, I was originally planning to watch a couple of movies tonight, but I honestly don't know whether I'm even going to do that. I may just do BookTube and reading, because I feel like if I lay down on the couch and try to watch a movie, I may honestly just fall asleep. So we'll see. I may get a bit of energy when I kind of want to take a shower, but then I'm like, if I take a shower, I don't know whether that'll put me to sleep or wake me up. In one of those situations. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go. I can't even think if there's anything else I need to say to you guys because I'm too tired to think properly. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow afternoon for my last day off before I go back to work. So I've got to make the most of every minute tomorrow. Tomorrow I probably, at the very least, will try to do my Read Solidly for an Hour challenge tomorrow afternoon, because I failed at it once already, so I really need to check that off before the end of the month. So yeah, that's it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is just after 5:30 on Monday, the 29th of April. So I didn't end up filming a clip yesterday. So yesterday, I went to see Avengers again with my mum. Equally enjoyed it. I'm glad that when I saw it with my dad, the mood in the cinema was really, like, I saw it on release day. So the mood was really, everyone in there basically was a fan. We're seeing it on release day. Everyone's a fan. The mood was really, like, happy and excited, and, all of the right fun responses. Like, everyone was gasping and everything at all the right spots together and all of that type of thing. When I went with Mum, even though we're still in opening week, so it's not like it's been out for ages, the mood was much more subdued. So I'm glad I got to see it first in that environment of everyone being really excited, because I find that, like, I really enjoy that about cinema experiences. Anyway, so I went to see that with Mum. We had lunch. I came home. I did my Read for an Hour challenge, which we'll get into. So I did that, and then by the time I did that, it was like 3:30 in the afternoon, and I was going around to my parents' place for dinner. So I watched some BookTube, did a little bit more reading, went to my parents' place for dinner, and ended up staying there quite late because I didn't realise that Arsenal were playing last night, and the game was on at 8:30. That, I don't think, has ever happened where it was on at a time where you could just watch it at like a reasonable time of the evening, because if you guys watch the vlogs, you know that I quite often, like, of a weekend, will go around to my parents' place at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or some ridiculous time. And so I ended up staying after dinner to watch that. So I didn't come home until like bedtime. And I was going to film the clip when I came back from dinner. And then I literally just kind of forgot about it when I went home, and I just went to bed. So that was last night. So I was back at work today. Sad face. So yeah, I got home from work, made it through my first day back, always an accomplishment. So let's get into the reading update. So I'm pretty sure I tried to quickly skim through the last clip that I filmed because I actually couldn't remember what book I had been talking to you guys about. Because it feels like forever since I filmed a clip. But I believe I was still reading Too Close by Natalie Daniels, the NetGalley thriller that I had. So it was kind of a weird one for me. I ended up giving it just a straight 3-star rating because while I enjoyed the writing and I really liked how focused it was on female friendship, that plays a big factor, and themes are always my favorite things to read about, pretty much. And I should have also mentioned the female character, the friend who is going through the divorce. She's actually getting divorced from another woman, so it is like, does have like an LGBT. She's not like the one whose perspective you get, but I liked that because it's pretty not typical in like thrillers or horror to have queer characters. And so I appreciated that that was in there, but I literally don't think this can be described as a thriller. And it's not even in the way of where I recently read that book by Lisa Jewell, Then She Was Gone, I think it was, where it was super predictable. It's not even like it was predictable. It's like the author wasn't even trying. There was literally, you were told everything as it was happening. There was no reveals, no nothing. It was just what you get as the story goes along. That's all there is to it. The author's not even really trying to surprise you. So I don't, like, it's not really a mystery or a thriller to me. It's literally just more like a dark drama. Which is fine. I went into it expecting a thriller, so I kept waiting for these shocking moments, or at least attempted shocking moments, and nothing was happening. So that was very disappointing, but there were parts of it, like I said, that I did enjoy. So like I said, I gave that 3 stars. So then when I came home from Avengers yesterday, I picked up Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. So this is the book that Michelle picked for me for the BookBuddyAthon challenge. I think it's the prompt. Yeah, it's the prompt for Sex and the City, which is where you pick 4 books and your buddy picks one for you to read. So I picked 4 books that are the next 4 standalones on my shelf because I didn't want to pick anything that was serious. I'm trying not to get into any more series. So I picked the next 4 standalones on my shelf, and she picked out which one she wanted me to read, and this is the one that she picked, which I was most excited about. So I read this for the hour challenge. I read it for just over an hour. I read 150 pages. Last night, I can't remember what page I was on, but with the reading I did once I got home from my parents, I read like a chapter or whatever before bed. According to Goodreads, I was 63% of the way through, and I finished this on the bus on the way home from work. So this is a YA novel. It's about a girl named Emma who is basically, is this a spoiler? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. She's gang raped at a party. Well, I mean, yes, she's gang raped, but it's one of those situations where Emma was incredibly drunk. She has a expansive sexual history. She was drunk. She took some illegal drugs. Had a very horrific, absolutely horrific thing happen to her at this party. Was left on her front porch the next morning, completely out of it, like to the point where she had blistering sunburn the next day because she was out on the porch like for that long. It's unclear whether she was dumped on the porch or whether she managed to get home and just like passed out on the porch. And it's about dealing with that circumstance. The book mainly deals with the topics of just like rape culture and victim blaming and those types of things. So the first half of the book is kind of, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that it's a rape. And if you think it is, then I apologize, but it says there, you know, that everyone knows what happened to her and blah, 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 because photos of what happened to her are posted on Facebook after it happens, and everyone in the town sees the photos and all of that. So the first half of the book, we really get to see Emma as a character, and we get the kind of period leading up to the incident. And we then jump a year ahead, and we get the period following on from what's happened and how she's dealing with it at that point. This, obviously, humongous trigger warnings for rape and sexual assault. This was, I don't have any experience. I mean, I think every woman, literally every adult woman, has been sexually harassed, but I've never dealt with sexual assault or rape. Thank goodness. I'm very fortunate to have never have had to deal with that. And for me, reading this book was incredibly difficult. So if that is something that you struggle with, I would tread very carefully. This book is so raw. This book, I don't know if I've ever felt angrier reading a book. That's the intention. You're supposed to feel angry. You're supposed to feel shocked and disgusted by what is happening. Emma is an incredibly unlikable character. She is the type of person I would not want to be friends with. She is very conceited, has to be the center of attention, very narcissistic, has to be the center of attention, manipulates people, steals from her friends, like people she says are her friends, just overall is not a great person. Does that mean that she deserved what happened to her? No. Was the fact that she was drinking, does that mean that she deserved what happened to her? No. Is the fact that she had sex with boys previously, maybe a lot of boys, does that mean that she consented to it? No. Is the fact that maybe she had sex with one of the boys that night, does that mean she consented to it? No. Does the fact that she took an illegal substance mean that she consented to it? No. Was she asking for it? She was promiscuous, acting promiscuous at the party maybe. She was dressed provocatively. She was acting provocatively. All of those things. And it's dealing with everything that comes afterwards with how she is treated by everyone. Not just even the people from her school and like acquaintances, but by her friends, by teachers, by parents of other kids in the town that she lives in, by her own parents, by her brother, by everyone that she knows. And oh my God, I don't even know what to say about this book. I think that this is a book that everyone who can handle it should read, because it's one of the best written books I think I've ever read about rape culture, which is a topic that I enjoy reading books about because I feel very passionately about the issues of rape culture and victim blaming. But, sorry, Giles just stood on my foot, which is the leg that's balancing the camera. Yeah, I gave this 5 stars, in case you couldn't tell. I just felt very affected by this book. I think it is brilliant. And like I said, I think everyone who can should read. Because obviously I recognize there are a lot of people who wouldn't be able to handle reading this book. But if you can, I think you should. So I finished that today. Now, let's talk audiobooks. So I have been on leave for 10 days. In that 10 days, do you want to guess how many books came off hold? I'll give you a second. It's 12. 12. So technically only 10 came off hold because you've got a limit of 10. So sorry, 11 came off hold because I had that one book that was already, we'll get into that. So 11 books came off hold. 2 of them are still sitting in hold because you have a limit of 10 that you can have actually checked out at once. So boy, heck, do I have some audiobook. Wow, we are getting cleavagey in this clip. We have some friggin' heavy duty audiobook listening to do to get through those books. So I restarted listening to The Deeper the Water, The Uglier the Fish by Katja Apkina. This is the book that if you watched a couple of vlogs ago, I had started listening to before I came off work. And I had got through 25% of it on the first afternoon that I was listening to it and was really struggling to concentrate and get into the story. And so the next day I'd only listened to like a further 5 or 10% and decided that I was actually going to stop it and restart it when I went back to work. So that's what I did today. I restarted it from the beginning, re-listened to the first however much I'd listened to previously. I got through 61% of it today and I DNF'd it. So I listened to it all today. I decided on the bus on the way home, I was like, can I bother finishing this tomorrow? No, I cannot. especially when I've got that many books waiting for me to listen to that I think I'm just going to enjoy more. So this is an adult literary fiction. It follows two sisters. One is 16 and one is 14, and their mother attempted trigger warnings for suicide and suicide attempts and depression and mental health issues. Their mother, the older sister, found the mother who had attempted to hang herself. She survived. The mother survived and is being put into a mental health facility. And so the two sisters are forced to move to New York. They're from Louisiana, and they're forced to move to New York to live with their estranged father, who they haven't seen since they were really little. He hasn't been involved in their lives in any way. And it's basically about them dealing with that situation and the fact that the two sisters handle it and deal with it in very different ways. This book has very positive reviews on Goodreads. When I was trying to decide on the bus on the way home, I was like, do I want to keep going with this tomorrow? I went through a few reviews on Goodreads, like positive reviews, trying to see, like non-spoilery ones, but trying to see what people were enjoying about it, to see whether it's something that I thought that I should continue on with. So it does have great reviews. I just really didn't like it. I didn't like anything about it. There are so many different perspectives. You've got the different perspectives of the two sisters, but you also just get characters that I'm sure are going to come into play more, like you'll figure out more what they have to do with the story later on, but characters who have hardly anything to do with the story, you get their perspective before they've got anything into the story. It flashes back in different times. You get flashback right to when the parents met, then jumping forward to the present time of them dealing with it. You also get some like in the future, well, like I guess it would be present day because the majority of the story is set in 1997. So I wasn't enjoying any of the perspectives, but all the perspective shifts and the timeline shifts, wasn't enjoying any of that. There are so many elements to the story that I'm just really not a fan of. So the mother and father met when the mother was, I think it says 9. The mum's 9 and he is like in his 20s or 30s or something like that. He is significantly older than her. And they get married when she is 17. So I think he must have been in his 20s when they met, because I think it said when they were married, she was 17 and he was in his early 30s. So there's a huge age gap. I don't want to say inappropriate because it's to do with the age. The fact that they met when she was 9, he was a friend of her father's, made me very uncomfortable. And now I'm going to get into some slightly spoilery. I haven't finished the book, so it's not spoilers like for the end, but if you don't want to know like anything like about any plot details, I'm going to put my hand up, and when I take my hand away, you can come back. It is very largely hinted that one of the daughters is going to be entering into a sexual relationship with the father. She looks like the mother and is she's got some emotional issues to do with the abandonment by her father, and the way that she does it, she tries to channel her mother. And yeah, I'm pretty sure she's going to be entering. We're heading into inappropriate territory with the relationship with the dad. Made me super uncomfortable. Really was just not enjoying, obviously, that aspect of the story. Okay, you can come back. Also, not spoilery, but I also didn't like that the word retarded, which is a word that I've mentioned a few times, or I think I've alluded, I don't know if I've ever said the word. I hate that word. It is a word, it's one of my most hated phrases that I hear, and it's partly maybe to do with my own shame of remembering myself using that word in high school. It is an awful word, and it's the context that it's used in the story. It's just completely unnecessary. I recognize that the book is set in the 90s, late 90s, when it maybe wasn't as recognized how awful of a word it was to use. I mean, that's the time period when I myself was using it, when I was in primary school and high school, and didn't realize how horrible and offensive it was. But yeah, it was completely unnecessary for the story, because I recognize that I might sound hypocritical because I recently read a book where this word was also used, and I didn't have as much of a problem with it then because it felt organic to that story. That was a story about a prepubescent boy in the early 80s in a low socioeconomic region, using the word in a context that it 100% would have been used in. This word was just so unnecessarily thrown in. There are so many other ways that it wasn't, that it could have been, because it wasn't even said like in a phrase, like wasn't even said like conversationally. It wasn't said one person, which I was just on my foot again, it wasn't said one person saying it to another. It was said in a like narrative style. I think that's partly why I had a big problem with it. So that was a part that I listened to right before I got off the bus. And so I was just like, I'm 61% of the way through this. I got so many audiobooks lined up to listen to. I don't want to waste my time on finishing this book because I'm just really, really not enjoying it. And I don't think there's a lot that could happen at the end that would make up for the shit beginning, in my opinion. So I DNF'd that. So quickly to talk challenges. So this, like I said, worked for BookBuddyAthon for the Pick 4 challenge for Sex and the City. I now need to pick up, I'm planning to pick up Smokin' 17 by Janet Evanovich. That is going to work for 2 challenges. It's going to work for BookBuddyAthon for the prompt for 90210 to read a book with a number in the title. And it's also going to work for Muggle Studies to read a contemporary, because it's a women's fiction contemporary story. And then the only, I think that means I've checked off all of BookBuddyAthon, I believe. And then the only other challenge that I have is the hour for divination, for reading a book set in the future, which I do have a book that I could read, a graphic novel. So I need to read all of Smokin' 17 and the graphic novel by the end of tomorrow. Is it doable? I think it is. When I get home, I've got knitting group tonight. When I get home from knitting tonight, I'm going to probably go to bed a little bit later than I normally would and try to read for like solidly like, 30 or 40 minutes at least before I go to bed, get through as much of Smokin' 17 as I can. If I get through a decent chunk of that tonight, I think I can get through a really decent chunk of it on my commute and lunch break tomorrow, that I could be pretty close, if not have finished it by the time I get home, that then I can just focus on reading the graphic novel. That's the plan, that's the hope. Anyway, I'm going to go now because this clip is almost 20 minutes long. And I want to edit as much of this vlog as possible before I leave for knitting. So I'm going to go. I will talk to you guys when I get home from work tomorrow, let you know how I'm getting on with reading all of those books, and to give you a final update tomorrow for how I went with all of these readathons. So I will talk to you guys then. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is almost 9:30 p.m. on Tuesday, the 30th of April. So it's the last day of April, the last day of the vlog, the last day of BookBuddyAthon, the last day of the Ours Magical Readathon. So I'm coming to you a little bit later in the day than I normally do because I wanted to be able to fill you in on everything related to the readathons, and I wasn't done yet, but I am now. So I had work today, and then I had a physio appointment, and then I came home, and I basically have just been watching some booktube and doing some reading and getting through everything that I needed to get through. So first off, I finished Smokin' 17 by Janet Evanovich. I got through most of this on the way home. I think I had like 2 chapters left when I got off the bus, and then I finished this before I went to physio. So this is the 17th book in the Stephanie Plum series. I don't even know what to say. For those of you who don't know what it's about, Stephanie Plum is a bounty hunter, but she's like a kind of like inept bounty hunter who's like not that great at her job, and it's all just like about like, it's supposed to be like comedic hijinks ensuing type of thing. This one focuses so there's a love triangle all throughout this series. Book 17, still no resolution to the love triangle, but this one focuses on the love triangle quite heavily. I mean, there is like the whole crime, her trying to solve a mystery crime thing going on, but that almost seemed to take a backseat to her really. She's getting pressured in this one that she needs to make a choice between the 2 guys. So I'm hoping that means that we're headed down the path of soon she's going to make that choice, because I really friggin' need her to make a goddamn choice. So this was okay. It was pretty enjoyable. Not my favorite in the series, but definitely not my least favorite. I would probably give this a 3.25. No, a 3. I think I'll just give it a 3. It was more like a 3-star. I'll give it a 3. So this worked for BookBuddyAthon for the challenge of the prompt for 90210 for reading a book with a number in the title, because it's got 17 right there in the title. And it also works for the Ours Magical Readathon prompt for reading a contemporary, because this is a contemporary women's fiction. So I read that. I then read The Woods, Volume 1 by James Tynion IV and Michael Dialynis? I'm sure I'm butchering that. So it's Volume 1, The Arrow. So I had picked this up earlier in the month, so I haven't even hauled this yet. I picked this earlier up in the month from the library, not for any specific purpose. I was just browsing the graphic novels and had heard a little bit about this, and so I thought I'd give the first volume a go. However, I still really needed to complete the prompt for divination for the Ours Readathon, to read a book set in the future. And it was the only prompt that I hadn't completed, and I really, really wanted to be able to say that I completed all of them. And so I was kind of resigning myself to the fact that I wasn't going to be able to finish it. And then I thought, let me just check this. Is this set in the future? And according to the back, so it says on October 16th, 2013, so you might be thinking 2013, clearly not in the future, but then it says 437 students, 52 teachers, and 24 additional staff from Bay Point Preparatory High School in suburban Milwaukee, Wisconsin, vanished without a trace. Countless light years away, far outside the bounds of the charted universe, 513 people find themselves in the middle of an ancient primordial wilderness. Where are they? Why are they there? The answers will prove stranger than anyone can possibly imagine. So they are transported. How far did it say? Countless light years. Wait, does that mean that it's in the future, or does that just mean it's away? That it's like on another planet? Oh my God, does this actually work for a book set in the future? I don't even know anymore. Does it? Countless light years away. I'm counting it. I think that counts. If they're light years away, I know that just is referring to the fact that it would take us light years to travel there. So like it's really far away. Does that mean that it's in the future? I'm sounding really dumb, and my cats are fighting. So I'm sorry, not fighting. They're chasing each other, if you can hear that. Now after all of this, I'm still like, did I actually complete this? I don't know. Does this count for a book set in the future? I don't even know whether to say that I've completed this prompt or not. I might have to do some Googling. Give me a second. I'm going to do some Googling and see whether I can figure this out. Devastating news. It doesn't mean it's in the future. I don't know why I thought, I think I saw light years and I just saw the years and was like, yes, future. It's not. Light years is a measurement of distance, not a measurement of time. I feel so dumb for having done this live on a vlog clip, but to be fair, when I Googled it, there were so many questions about this, so I feel like I'm not the only person who was confused about that. So it turns out I didn't complete that prompt for Ours, and now I'm really pissed off that there's one prompt that I didn't finish, but it's now 9:30 on the 30th. So I've got, even if I was going to stay up all night reading, I've only got 2.5 hours, and I don't have any books that I could read in that amount of time to fulfill the prompt. So I guess I didn't complete that one, and I read this for nothing. Not that it matters. This is quick and easy to read. It's not a big deal, but I'm pissed. I'm pissed, you guys. So anyway, I read this. It didn't count for any prompts, but I read it. So this is about, in case you didn't tell by that description, it's a group of people. They get transported, I guess, to another planet. It's not in the future. It's just another planet. And they don't know what the heck is going on. Pretty much that's what it's about. I'm trying to think, like, I really should have looked at reviews and stuff. I don't really know what my thoughts are on this. This was okay. It was enjoyable enough. The artwork is like okay. It's not my favorite, but I've definitely read graphic novels with art that I've liked a lot less. I'm just trying to see if I can find, there was like a full page spread pretty early on that I could probably show you guys that wouldn't be like, yeah, here we go. Oh, now you're getting the glare. So there's that, like, so, I mean, that doesn't, you can't see any people's faces or anything, so you can't really, let me go to really early on. So I don't want to risk, I mean, not that, it's, I mean, it's volume 1, it's not that spoilery. Oh, there's a naked person. Not naked, you don't see anything. It's not, it's like a streaker at the school. You can see him in this clip, but you can't see anything. It's not graphic. So, like, this is the style of people. So, like, it's okay. It's not my favorite, but I've seen worse, like I said. I'm sorry, now I'm, like, knocking shit over. So I've read that. I enjoyed it enough. I'm intrigued enough, I think, to continue on with it. I'll probably give it 3 stars. It didn't count for any challenges. Oh, I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed that I didn't. I was like, yes, I completed every challenge for every readathon. I didn't. So I guess to quickly finish off this vlog clip, because I don't want this vlog to be super long, I'm going to very quickly take you through the prompts for the readathon and let you know that how I checked them off. So let's start with BookBuddyAthon. So for BookBuddyAthon, we had the prompt for 90210, a book with a number in the title. I read Smokin' 17 by Janet Evanovich, like I said. Dawson's Creek, a book with over 400 pages. I read Boy Swallows Universe by Trent Dalton. New Girl, a new to you author or book. I used Book of Shadows by Kate Tiernan. That was the first sweep book. I think it was quite appropriate to use that one because I then went on to read 5 other books by her this month. Post your TBR on social media. I did that. Pretty Little Liars, a thriller / book with dark themes. I used Too Close by Natalie Daniels. Read for an hour in one go. I did achieve that. Gilmore Girls, a book off the Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge. I used The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Friends, buddy read a book with your buddy. Michelle and I buddy read Watching You by Lisa Jewell. Big Bang Theory, a book your buddy thinks you'll love. For that, I read The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelis, which I did really enjoy. I gave 4.5 stars. Sex in the City was the one where you pick 4 books and your buddy picks one for you to read. Michelle picked Asking for It by Louise O'Neill, which I read. Talk to your buddy every day. We did do that. Girls, read a graphic novel, manga, or picture book. I read Giant Days Volume 8. I also read The Woods. Didn't count for anything else, so might as well include it here. The OC, a book with orange on the cover. I read The Magic of Tiny Business. Shout Out a Book Lover. I did do that on Twitter. Will and Grace, a book with LGBT themes. I read Wicked by Clover Donovan, which has a gay main character. And then the final one was Glee, a comfort read, which I read the Giant Days novel by Non Pratt. So I'll put the bingo board here. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of hearts on here. I got a full bingo card. Really, really happy with that. Now let's move on to Owls. So the prompts for Owls were Ancient Runes, read a retelling. So for that, I read Ferris by Chandahan. It's not a retelling in the typical sense. It's about her being a descendant of the Brothers Grimm and having to go through different fairy tale aspects in her life in order to, like, check off those fairy tales so that she can break the curse on her family. So the main fairy tales that this one focused on were Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. So she went through those fairy tales in this book. So I'm counting that. The next one was for Arithmancy, to a work written by more than one author. I read The Girl Who Smiled Beads by Clementine Wamaria and Elizabeth Veal. I think I haven't written this down. I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I think that's what I read. Then there was Astronomy, a book with star in the title. I read The Language of Stars by Louise Dawes. Then we had Charms, which was the age line charm to read an adult work. I mean, you could take your pick. I read Watching You by Lisa Jewell. I read The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelis. I read quite a few adult books. That was Charms. We then have Care of Magical Creatures, Land Animal on the cover. I used Boy Swallows Universe by Trent Dalton because there was a bird on the cover. We then have Defense Against the Dark Arts, a title that starts with R. For that, I used The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. We then have Divination, book set in the future. As it turns out, I didn't complete that owl. Who knew? Then we have Herbology, a book with a plant on the cover. I used the first sweep bind up for that because there was a vine. I mean, I actually read quite a few that could count for this. Again, this could count for this. I mean, you've got the whole forest in the background. There was a couple of other books I think I read this month too that I remember thinking would count for that. So I definitely checked that one off. We then have, where was I? Now I've lost my spot. History of Magic, a book published at least 10 years ago. For that, I read The Giver by Lois Lowry. We then have, where am I up to? Muggle Studies, a contemporary. So for that I read Smoke and 17 by Janet Ivanovic. We then have Potions, Next Ingredient, read a sequel. So for that you could count Giant Days Volume 8. That was a sequel, or any of the sweep books that I read after the first book. They were all sequels. I'm trying to think, did I read any other sequels this month? Oh, Fairest by Chandler. Oh no, I used that for another one. You're not allowed to double up. So no, that one didn't count. And then finally, the last one is Transfiguration, to read a book with sprayed edges or a red cover. And for that, I used the Giant Days novel by Non Pratt, which has a mainly red cover. That's it. So I completed 11 of the 12 hours. I'm so pissed I didn't get that divination one. And it's not like, I'm not pissed because I still got a lot of reading done this month. I read so many books that didn't count for any like of these challenges and stuff, because I just can't drop all, it's not in me to drop all of my normal way that I do my TBR to just read books for the readathon. So I just tried to slot in. I did read outside of the way that I normally would somewhat, but I did try to mainly read books that I was already going to be reading and slot them in where I could and only veer off a little bit. And I would have veered off and tried to pick up the book set in the future if I had a little bit more time, but the month just got away from me a little bit and I didn't quite make it. But I did. I mean, you only had to, I was going for the career of being a Hogwarts professor, which I needed to complete 7 hours for, 2 of which needed to be Defense Against the Dark Arts, which I did. And so I got 7, I got Defense Against the Dark Arts, and one of them had to be the class you wanted to teach, which I wanted to do Charms. So I'm on the path to being the new Charms Hogwarts professor, which I'm really happy with. And then at a stretch, I wanted to do, I think, to be the librarian, which you had to do, I think it was 9. There were 9 specific ones, and I'm pretty sure I got all of those. Yeah, I did. Divination wasn't one of those, so I did get that as well, so I could be the librarian as well. But Hogwarts Professor Charms is what I'm going for. So, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to talk about. I don't think so. I will probably pick up another book, like my next read, which I'm actually not even sure what I'm due to pick up next, because I've been so focused on the readathon reading that I'm not even exactly sure what I'm picking up next. So I'll figure that out, and then I'll probably pick that up and read a couple of chapters before I go to bed. But I will talk about that somewhere else on my channel in a future video, so stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. But that is it for this vlog, and I apologize for my appearance. This is my I don't wear this jumper out of the house, just so you know. This isn't around the house jumper. That's why the collar looks like this, okay? Don't judge me. So I will see you guys in the outro. Bye, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this final reading vlog for April and for Ours Readathon and for BookBuddyAthon. I hope you enjoyed the experience. I know I did. I would love for you guys to comment down below how your reading month went. Were you participating in any readathons? How did you do with the challenges? I hope you weren't as stupid as I was, because boy was that last clip embarrassing, let's be honest. So yeah, I would love to chat down below. Please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from the channel. But that is all I have for this video today. Bye guys.